Persian Powerhouse. That's exactly what Tissa Rahim is. She's traveled from LA to New York to Vancouver. She's back here in Calgary to chat with us on the music. Welcome to The Music, where we explore how the music shapes the world around us. From artists and film to business and culture, join me as we uncover the purpose and power behind every note. Let's talk about the music. We were just chatting with the wonderful K-Riz, and now I'm excited to be sitting here with Tissa Rahim, who just got back from touring LA and I believe some Canadian cities and stuff as well. Let's jump into it. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So you've been playing LA, you just got back from there, but you've been touring over, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but where you've been playing a few different places, right?
Yeah, I've been on sort of a musical journey this past year and a half. So I was in LA for a while. I was there for about 8-9 months or so, I want to say.
Oh, yeah,
but
that's a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a minute, yeah.
An LA minute, I don't think that's a thing. But actually, speaking of which, I was also in New York. I played 2 shows. One in the Lower East Side and one in the Hamptons, which was cool. I'd never been to the Hamptons before.
Yeah.
And in the middle there, I also managed to make my way to Mexico and to the Netherlands. So it's been a bit of a journey, but I'm very happy to be back here in Calgary.
And when you consider Calgary, then it's like your home base. This is kind of where you feel.
Yeah, for sure. As you know, I grew up in Vancouver and I lived there for most of my life. But now that I'm here, it feels very much like home to me.
You feel embraced and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. The music scene here is so, like, the community here is so great. So I can't help but feel embraced.
Oh, totally. And do you find that, you have an easier time now kind of getting back into lining things up in shows here now that you have some of that touring under your belt, those international shows, and that kind of gives you that credibility to like take that next step kind of thing?
For sure. I think as an artist, it's always a really good idea to like make a note of every time you do something cool, because sometimes you forget when you're in the middle of it. So I have this just like running Google Docs that's like, I did this.
Yeah,
I want this, which is great. It's also just nice to look at, you know?
Yeah.
And obviously every time you do something, you also capture like video or photos, and then you can add it to your electronic press kit. So then next time you send something out, even if you didn't get into, let's say, a festival the first year you apply, sometimes you end up on people's radars a little bit, and then they see, oh, she went here, she went there, she's making a lot of progress, and we like the new music she's putting out, so yeah, let's hire her now.
Totally. So. Yeah, there's a few, you touched on persistence, and then also I feel like there's like the gratitude piece there of like writing down the things, because I feel like, it's such a fast-paced industry where it's easy to be like, okay, I did that, but what's next? But then it's like that stop, look what you've done in the last year, pat yourself on the back, and then get back to work, the studio. That's usually how it goes.
For sure. I think being able to do that is super important, because it takes a lot to be an artist, because these days we have to be everything, right? Like social media, content creators, like always creating new music to keep up with having consistent release schedules can help you with everything too. So being able to just take some steps back sometimes and just look at how far you've come is really nice, I think.
No, totally. And I love that you're talking so much like on the logistical and organizational side. I feel like that's such an important aspect. And I feel like as artists, we can be like inherently, for lack of a better term, neurotic and maybe inefficient in some executive functioning skills. But I feel like when you actually like take your weakness and double down, like I'm gonna make that my strength, like that can just, as living proof, set you miles ahead of just the creative. But how do you balance that? Do you find like you need to separate the different hats you're wearing from like, okay, I'm in executive mode, I'm in project planning mode, I'm booking, and then to like, okay, I'm just an artist in the studio now? Do you find that difficult to do?
Yeah, I think definitely sometimes I find that it can be hard to motivate myself to do some of the things that I don't want to do. So like some of the admin stuff, I will admit here on camera, I've been sitting on updating some of the metadata for some of my music for months now, just because it hasn't been urgent, but it is something that needs to be done. Social media, I find I'm happy with posting, stuff that I already have, but creating new content, I find myself having to really motivate myself to do that. I'm somebody who, if there's a show, I'm there. If there's a studio session, I'm there, like ready to work. But when it comes to some of that side of things, I find that it can be a bit of a struggle. So definitely I feel like I have to actually schedule in some time to do those things and try to hold myself somewhat accountable while also allowing myself some breaks, not constantly feeling stressed out about having to do this thing.
Totally, yeah, and that's the thing that's actually come up now too. Is just like that time away from the music. You know, we spend so much time in the music. Then if it's not making music, it's about marketing our music or, you know, the next reel or this or that or our merch. So it's, you know, just getting what do you do like outside of music for yourself to just kind of refresh and balance out.
Yeah, so for me, I'm really into I like sometimes I'll meditate because I find that helps, especially at night. It helps me fall asleep. Some journaling in the mornings. Let's see, what else do I do? Just kind of spend time with my friends and my family, spend time outdoors. The weather is still holding up so well right now. So I've been kind of going on weekly walks, like once or twice a week, just catching up with friends and stuff like that. Trying to see what else. I'm a big sleeper. So just take a nap every once in a while if I'm feeling overwhelmed.
Totally. And sometimes a great song coming out like dreamlike state. You ever get that where you like wake up and you're like feeling like hella inspired or like it's a dream. It's like, oh, I need to write this down or.
For sure. Yeah, I think that relaxation is actually a really important component of being an artist because like it's not in us to have that energy to create constantly. You know, it kind of comes like a wind almost like.
Totally.
Yeah. So you kind of just have to give yourself the space to breathe sometimes.
Yeah,
as well.
it is. It's almost like that wave, right? Like that's like you're surfing. Like you gotta like then there's like technique of like you feel the inspiration, the wave coming, then you gotta like catch the wave, and then ride the wave out as long as you can, you know. And that's when you end up in been in a studio session for 30 hours and no sleep because it's just like so much creative energy. You've lost track of time and space. You do. Like with the writing and stuff, you play a mean guitar riff. You know, I see you riff on the guitar as well. Do you find that those kind of go hand in hand with your writing and creativity, with the guitar and the singing?
I would say so for sure. I want to say about 4 or 5 years ago, I really took it upon myself to get really good at guitar. Because before, you know, I was decent. I was good enough to accompany myself and stuff. But I just got to a point where I was like, I see this fretboard in front of me, but I feel like I need to understand it better. And I think it will also help me write music better and put on a really interesting performance if I can do both well. So yeah, I just took a couple of lessons with the person who was my lead guitarist at the time. His name is Alvin Brennan. He's based out in Vancouver. Shout out to Alvin. I don't know if he'd see this. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, so because he knew me, he was like, this is what you can do, this is what you need to work on. And so for a long time, actually during COVID, I just practiced scales all day. And by doing that, it helped me become like faster, more proficient. I was able to identify where the notes are on the fretboard, which a lot of times as a guitarist, you can kind of get away with not knowing that.
Totally.
But at the same time, it is useful when you do learn it because then you can put chords together in unique ways other than just the standard, you know, open or barred. And yeah, it also helped me become a stronger songwriter as well because it just opened up the horizons of what I could do. And then it just makes for a more interesting stage performance.
Totally. Yeah, no, I agree. And I love that, you know, I think that's a testament to understanding the business side of the music, of being an entertainer and taking your craft serious.
Yeah.
Anything you can do to better that. And that's always some of the first advice I give as a producer as well to singers and songwriters and stuff is if they don't actively play an instrument, you know, learn one, pick it up because it can absolutely, you know, inspire. And then, you know, the writing, the chord voicings, like you said, you know, you take your basic chords and now you can like put your own spin on them and, you know, spice them up a little bit and do stuff. So.
And also, like, financially, if you can play an instrument, you can take on solo gigs and make more money.
You know what? Touche. Yes, that's some knowledge right there.
If you want to do that, you know, you don't have to worry about, oh, my musicians aren't available this day, and you don't have to split the. I mean, it depends on what you want. Like, if you're trying to make a career out of music, of course, you have to worry about how much income you're bringing in. But absolutely. I know that's not everyone's goal. So.
Yeah, but you get to cut your teeth on getting the opportunities. But you do see that, you know, the same gig. Pay you know, $500 for a full band or for just yourself. Yes. So you know, sometimes if you can, you know, have a tambourine on your foot and the guitar and do the thing. It's like you got your 3-piece.
That's my next step.
that.
I mean, I love playing with a band. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes the budget's just not there. So.
Totally. Well, that's all super cool. And so, where can people like stay caught up with you on this creative journey on online and stuff?
So you can find everything that I'm doing on my website, which is my name, so tissarahim.com. I'm guessing it'll be spelled underneath here. You can also find me on socials, which is at I am Tissa Rahim, so I-A-M, and then my name. And I think that's about it. Oh, you can email me for anything at tissarahim@gmail.com too.
Tissa, thank you so much for being on the show. It was awesome to catch up with you and hear what you're up to. Next up, we have Calgary rapper RSG Swiss. Thanks for tuning in to The Music. Remember, the music is always playing a bigger role than we think. Stay curious and keep listening. Until next time, see you there.